Okay, here we go. It's gonna take a while. Hi, yes, hello. This isn't exactly a video of my usual style, but I'm here to review a game I've been testing out lately. My review over this game will be split into key factors I've noticed through my playtime spent in Undead Strike. Maybe I won't mention everything, and it's very likely I'll miss details, whether it's because I forget or because it simply didn't catch my attention while writing this script. Anywho, I'll now mention what I'll be looking at in this video. I'll try to include timestamps, but no promises. Undead Strike possesses a touch similar to Reason to Die Awakening. In fact, from what I've seen and heard, at some point in time it was going to be a sort of copy of Reason to Die Awakening. But now, it seems to be aiming to be its own thing. Most concepts of both games may be similar to one another, but the work put into both is clearly different. Not to necessarily say one of the two has more work than the other, but you can tell Undead Strike has its differences with Reason to Die Awakening. In other words, you shouldn't necessarily consider them to be the same game. Although this point is more of a bias factor, not all players were fond of this at the time, which in this case is the game Reason to Die Awakening. There was a moment in time where this game was indeed recognized by many. The style of the game is one of the things that players probably remember most, considering it was a survivors versus zombies type game, in which players were either given the chance to be a survivor with their own set of weapons, or they spawned as a zombie with a chance to be a special infected every time they died. From my knowledge and thanks to the Trello, I found 5 game modes in the game currently, those being Survival, Survival Unlimited, Rescue, FFA, and PvE. Most of these you should be able to tell what they're about by looking at their names, but a quick summary on these wouldn't hurt considering this is a review. Survival forces survivors to hold out until a timer runs out. Survival Unlimited lasts until all the survivors are killed. Rescue, from what I've played, requires you to survive for a small amount of time until a plane arrives. FFA is a survivor's round, except they're allowed to commit mass genocide on each other until there's one left. And PvE is just survivors versus the AI, with a timer and more zombies. At first, I only got to play very little as a survivor since I found out about the auto ready option in the settings menu later on once I was about rank 5. Now that said, the times I got to play as a survivor were actually quite enjoyable despite being an all-rank server. The experience is as you might expect. You have a gun, your focus is to live as long as possible or until the timer runs out. You kill zombies along the way, you get ammo from your ammo stations, repeat until you either become a zombie or live long enough to win. Sounds plain and simple if you want to win, but depending on how many players there are, their level of skill as a survivor or zombie, it'll probably decide the course of your run and luck. Survivors are able to do many things while alive. For starters, they're able to throw hands at any given moment as long as they have the stamina to do so. Now, what makes a difference between being hit by a survivor and a zombie is that a survivor's punch or kick can trip common infected along with the 2 of the special infected in the game. This allows for all players to have a decent chance at defending themselves if zombies grow too close to them. Not just that, but it helps with aiming better since infected won't be jumping around while they're knocked out on the floor. But this is one of many things, since survivors also get the benefit of free item boxes, ammo stations around the map, and a quote-unquote live shop that allows them to buy a variety of things to assure their survivability. I'd go into more detail about these, but I'll be showing brief clips or screenshots instead so you have an idea about what they do and how they are in-game. While survivors are blessed with guns, melee weapons, or items to survive longer, they act as the opposites to how zombies have to play. Most have to be defensive and can't exactly afford being chipped at by most common infected. The danger of a zombie player varies until they get a special zombie. Meanwhile, the AI may not be much of a threat until they manage to huddle up together with their fellow AI buddies to form a big Zomboss transformer. At least for now, that means that survivors are only capable of handling so many zombies until they're overrun. And even the slightest damage they take can put them at risk of favoring the undead. It's not just that either, but you could say that being a survivor is also quite expensive due to the fact that most of the money spent in the undead strike goes to them. This applies to weapons, armors, items, event items, and so on. For the most part, you get to be quite carefree as a zombie player. You basically have unlimited lives, unless there's a timer, and depending on how much you pray to Orange Jesus, you have a chance of being blessed to play one of the 3 current special infected in the game. These are the Boomer, the Oni, and the Tank. Thankfully, from the maps I've seen, the zombie spawn areas are not too bad considering the possibility of being spawn camped exists. So, you shouldn't worry too much about that since you're not exactly losing anything by being a shootable dead corpse that grants money to the living. After all, you don't lose money or items by dying a few times, but this may be different for you if you have low patience or anger issues. As I've already mentioned before, zombies are blessed with the fact that they don't actually have to spend money. There are options that zombies can pay for, like the relocate option that teleports them to a random spawn in the map, for example, or the tag option that simply shows you the location of survivors along with their ranks. Now, I'd say this isn't exactly a main benefit though. After all, their playstyle kind of counters the survivors when playing depending on the scenario. If there are many zombies, it's possible to approach survivors and finish them off quite quickly given enough time. I say this because there's no punishment for throwing themselves at bullets and letting the other zombies get closer, or simply leaving the AI to do the job of free cash while they get closer. Not only this, but if the players work together to kill survivors, they pretty much got the fate of their round decided. This is also taking into mind the special infected, which I haven't talked about in further detail, so let's do that. The Boomer acts more like a support role. He has 2 moves, one in which he self-destructs like a GPO bomb user, press R, and the second where he throws up from his mouth, press F, I think. The Boomer is also capable of exploding after being killed, in which he covers the screen of nearby survivors while also damaging them. This also applies to both of his moves, so he doesn't necessarily have to explosion on survivors and die. The Oni is a special infected since I've never seen his concept in a game like this. Pretty sure. I think. Now, his style is quite unique and he's rather strong both by himself and with a group of zombies behind him. One of his moves allows him to dash through the air or on the ground. Doesn't matter what you pick, but if you do while walking off a platform, just know he'll float for the duration of his dash. Press E. His second move, being the strongest, allows him to perform what I believe is a fucking Kung Fu butt slam, which has high AoE and does quite damage to survivors. Not only this, but being hit with one of these will fling you into the air for a few seconds and leave your ragdoll for another few seconds once you've hit the ground. This leaves major opportunity for other infected to beat the shit out of you with no mercy.
tank, as its name stands, is one of the tankiest infected in the whole game. Suppose I should have mentioned the HP for the other infected, but it's very likely I put a sort of stat window on the screen while I talk about this. The tank starts off with 4500 HP, only has one special move, but his hits / M1s are basically turned into another special move since they have a cooldown, so we'll count that as 2. Now, what's interesting about this particular infected is that aside from being really fucking tanky, he also plays more of a support role rather than a one-man army. His clicks and special move, which is a rock throw, both fling and ragdoll. Just hope you have good aim because sometimes you'll probably have no idea where your rock is being thrown at. But that said, if you manage to catch a poor survivor in your Hulk smash or Hulk throw, they won't be seeing the light of day if there are nearby zombies to assist you. Even though I popped off with the upsides on zombies, since I haven't managed to use many weapons as a survivor since that's everything else I could provide for them, the zombies do have their downsides. One of them being the most simple, which is a really skilled player with a gun. Do they know how to headshot? Do they have a really good gun? Are they good at running away and stalling for a while? Congratulations, there's a very good chance the infected are fucked unless this is the infinite game mode. Or if by chance for tanks spawn in the same round, but let's not rely on RNG for now. Let's say a tank or two spawn in the same round. Considering my experience with all ranks allowed in the same server, that tank gets easily shredded by a 5-man group of MP5s. The second tank isn't much help either unless one of the two, or both, have godly aim and good teammates. But if that's the case, I'd also like to stop bullying the tank by saying they are quite fucking slow and can't sprint. I don't know if they're as slow as the next infected I'm about to call out, but the tank is slow and useless with a small group or by himself.
Now, let's talk about the Boomer. He's fat, he explodes, and to me, it seems like he has the slowest walking speed in the whole game. There's a small upside though, since he's allowed to sprint like the other infected, not including the tank. But the only issue is that even with the sprint option, his stamina seems to consume faster than with other infected. That or his running speed just doesn't cut it to keep up with medium distances. So if he comes across a survivor with a Camber 45 and there is a gap between them, it won't take long until he's forced to combust in place from being shot 3 times. Finally, the Oni, being one of my favorites, seems to hold himself pretty well in comparison to his brethren. He's not exactly the tankiest, but half a clip from an MP5 kills him if no shots are missed or they're headshots. His moves aren't bad, but if he misses his only good damaging move, he's basically forced to run away unless he wants to be pummeled to death by a group of fist fighters or shot down by gunners. I'd say his dash move would be a good call to avoid this sort of situation in case his plan backfires, but there's nothing that stops the gunners I just mentioned from sniping him down.
The progression in this game is quite grindy. For the most part, you'll be likely to focus on getting cash in order to buy new weapons if you haven't played much. Along the way, in the case of being a survivor, you'll probably buy items to assist you or aim to collect Z coins zombie players drop upon dying. As of right now, their only purpose is to afford the pizza mount thing in the shop, which I am not sure how long it will be there for, but hopefully it doesn't disappear before I gather 450 more Z coins to get it. Now, the only other thing you'll be doing after you've gained enough money to buy something you want is rank up. Ranking up has its own flaws, I'd say. Mainly because the amount of time you take to gain a large amount of cash is vastly different from getting EXP to rank up. If you haven't noticed already, survivors gain low amounts of money quite fast. In fact, it's faster than zombies. Now, as of the creation and finishing of this script, you could say, they actually updated the game and added double EXP. Z coins no longer have just the purpose of being used for a mount anymore. You can buy double XP with those.
I'm not entirely sure how big the gap is between survivors and zombies when it comes to progression, but let's say you save up enough money to buy the R870, being this shotgun on screen, and you just started. You can't exactly buy it and would have to play for a while till you meet the rank requirement. Now, there's actually a starter pack involved in this weapon that costs about 200 Robux, which in my opinion isn't too bad, considering you also get about 50 pills and some armor along with the weapon you're buying. Only issue is that by the time you probably consider this offer, you probably would have already played enough to reach rank 3, which is when the offer expires and you no longer get to look at that offer. It's just gone forever. Infected, on the other hand, are quite slow with progression. In fact, I'm not so sure if you get any XP for hitting or killing survivors. But as of this recording, I went and checked the footage, so I could confirm that Infected do get EXP, but only when they kill a survivor. And just so you know, it's not much. So don't have your hopes up. I can also confirm that eliminating a survivor will grant the player 50 cash, which is an okay amount. Could be better, but just know that it's not worth the trouble of getting if you're aiming for cash. So if you get chosen to be a zombie for one round, I'd say have the mindset of killing the survivors not for the sake of money, but rather for the sake of getting the round over with, so you get a chance at being a survivor again. Naturally, because this game is in demo phase, you are very likely to encounter a variety of bugs while you're here. I've already had my fair share for both zombies and survivors, in fact. Some of these can range from minor inconveniences, like when the AI zombies get pulled into the heavens, or for example, the weird delay in movement zombies get after using their moves. I'll probably throw a montage of wacky things I've encountered through my time playing while I speak, but if not, just take my word for it because, again, this is a demo. This one is actually pretty self-explanatory, although this isn't my way of shitting on the entire game. I mainly apply this to the fact that there's very small variety when it comes to maps and game modes. Usually a server will stick to 1 to 3 game modes, an estimated and likely not accurate number, along with picking the same maps over and over. I'm aware the game is a demo, so I'll actually cut it some slack. But I wouldn't take this to go down the route of adding just events from here on, but rather I'd suggest adding new maps and events every now and then, so players have something to look forward to whenever the game updates. The XP or money grind is inevitable since it's part of the main game, but maybe there could be some sort of small reward system for ranking up, or possibly something like a daily quiz system that boosts your progress significantly for playing both Survivor and Infected. As of now, I feel like the main issue as a Survivor or new player is the fact that ranks decide your build. I've already sort of established this issue before, so if you don't want to hear about this again in more detail, you can skip ahead. I know one technically has to play and grind a lot for their items and weapons, but it seems even after you've grinded enough money for a weapon, your fate is decided by the fact that you're probably either low rank, or you're close to it and have to grind hours just to get to said rank. I'm well aware that veterans that have played the game for a while aren't bothered by this issue, but I'm looking at this through a new player's perspective who recently got into the game. Had I not any dedication to play the game to begin with, or needed dedication to get hooked up with the game, I probably would have left 30 minutes in. This isn't something that can be really fixed until the game is ready for full release or once advertisements start popping through Roblox. But you should be able to tell that you can't exactly experience servers of equal ranks to yours, since all the action is thrown into whatever server is available at the time. By this, I mean that all ranked servers basically take the lead, unless you like to grind on your own in single player, but there's not much to do there, and you can't exactly gain Z coins from it. Overall, and ignoring the bads the game has, it's in pretty good shape for being a demo. It of course could use more, but we already know this is a demo.
I'm fully looking forward to what I'll present in the future, since I know for a fact more weapons, more infected, more maps and events will arrive eventually. It's just a matter of being patient and not giving up on the game yet. fact, they updated the game while I finished the script, along with confirming that there will be a V2 demo. So without having much to add on, I hope you enjoyed this formal review on Undead Strike, and let me know if you enjoy videos of this style. Thank you, and remember to check out my buddy John here. His channel icon should appear any second now, along with mine in the video. But my words from here on are simply to ramble, just so you have a look at my icon or John's here. Yeah, it's been long enough, alright, goodbye.